John's Revelation 8:12 states, "And the fourth angel sounded, and the third part of the sun was smitten, and the third part of the moon, and the third part of the stars. So as the third part of them was darkened, and the day shone not for a third part of it, and the night likewise." Let's recap briefly. In the first 3 trumpet judgments, we hear the measurement of 1/3 used each time a divine trumpet judgment is inflicted upon the Western Roman Empire. In the first trumpet, in the late 4th century, it was the Goths, or Visigoths, under King Alaric, that inflicted judgment upon 1/3 of the trees, which, as we saw in Judges chapter 9, symbolized the chief men in society over nations, and many generals and governors of Imperial Rome fell before the Visigoths as they devastated the provinces by fire and sword, invading Italy and Spain, and ultimately sacking Rome in 410 AD. Then with the second trumpet, 1/3 of the sea, and 1/3 of the creatures in the sea, and 1/3 of the ships were destroyed as the Vandals ravaged the Western Roman Empire under the leadership of Genseric, who was called the Tyrant of the Sea. The word sea being the symbolic code word for multitudes of people used in both Isaiah's chapter 17 and 57 and Psalms 65, and even in Revelation chapter 17, where it again refers to the word sea in regard to the papacy, beast, harlot, religious system which sits on many waters, referring to its authority over many peoples, multitudes, nations, and languages. The Vandals conquered Spain and Portugal, France, and North Africa, from Morocco to Libya, whose fleets roamed the Mediterranean Sea, attacking and destroying 1/3 of the Western Roman Empire's Imperial navy, and also sacking Rome again in 445 AD. Then the third trumpet sounded, bringing judgment on 1/3 part of the rivers in the Alpine regions of the northwestern part of Europe of the Roman Empire by Attila and the Huns, leaving in their path famine and pestilence, and polluting 1/3 of the rivers with over 250,000 dead bodies, and decimating northern Italy, marching to the very gates of Rome in 452 AD. And now, what will be the final judgment, the 4th trumpet sounds, darkening the sun, moon, and stars, which is the symbolism of the ruling powers and authorities, denoting the final end of the last 1/3 of the Western Roman Empire, which was eclipsed by Odoacer, ruler of the Heruli, who after defeating and capturing Rome, banished the last Western emperor, 12-year-old Romulus-Augustus, on September 4th, 476 AD, who had only ruled Rome as emperor for 10 months. Odoacer retired forever the imperial title of emperor in the Western Roman Empire. He became the first king of France in 476 AD. The actual historical fulfillment came about because Odoacer's father, Edecon, had been ambassador and secretary to Attila the Hun. Odoacer was a nominal pagan Catholic Christian of the Arian sect who denied the deity of Isus, which was the Messiah's name in Greek. Odoacer received a prophecy from a hermit who told him, "Go to Italy, and you shall rise to honor and cast away your coarse garment of skin for nobler vestures, and your wealth will be equal to the liberality of your mind." Odoacer brought his forces to act as mercenaries in what remained of the Western Roman Empire, and quickly rose to be a general. He marched his armies into Italy, where he had little problem in compelling the last emperor of Rome to resign. Thus, the sun, moon, and stars of the rulers of the mighty Western Roman Empire were extinguished into oblivion in 476 AD and brought the 1200-year reign of the Western Roman Empire to an end, taking just under 100 years of 4 divine trumpet judgments to do so. In Revelation 8:13, the angel cries, "Woe, woe, woe," signifying the nature of the next 3 trumpets yet to sound. The Western Empire has fallen by what Roman history has tried to convince us were barbarians, but in reality were tribal wars from the descendants of the lost tribes of Israel, who under a curse for idol worship and rejection of Father's Torah were scattered to the nations some 500 years before the Messiah, Yeshua, was even born. Attention will now turn to the Eastern Roman Empire, ruled by the pagan Christian papacy. For indeed, the events that are to follow are the terrible woes that will bring an end to the once mighty Roman Empire in the East. As we will see again, Father will inflict his last divine trumpet judgments, 1/3 at a time. I'm Bill Sanford, trying to put the book of Revelation in proper perspective in our day.